This episode of Trestle Tactics is proudly presented by Gordon Food Service.
Welcome to Trestle Tactics, a Tips from Trestle short. We wanted to know what's going to make our podcasts more valuable to you. And the answers were simple. You want easy to implement tactics and strategies that will let you create an outstanding experience around your senior living food and hospitality programming. So let's dive in right now on today's Trestle Tactics. Everyone eats with their eyes. The way our food is presented, the colors as they pop off the plate, the way a table looks, all of that's very important to the overall dining experience. And so that's why on this week's Trestle Tactics, I asked Tom Sanders to give us his tips and tricks on how to use your very own iPhone to capture some amazing photos. Take it away, Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom Sanders, the owner of Senior Living Photography, and I wanted to give you 4 tips on how to take better food photos from your iPhone or any cell phone you have. So the first tip I always like to tell everybody is when you photograph that plate of food, put it near a window. Use natural lighting. And if you can go just buy like a cheap piece of white foam core, like you can get it from the dollar store for obviously $1, $1.50. If you can put that white, like let's say, pretend this is the window, you want to take that white piece of foam core and just put it out of frame. And that natural light's going to come in and it's going to bounce off that white foam core. And it's going to fill in some of the shadow on the side of the plate. And that was something that would really just make for beautiful lighting. And if you can, if there's a lot of like shadows and yellow light coming from the overhead, if you can, I would maybe turn that light off, but that's not always optional, while residents are eating, in the dining area. My next big tip is to make sure that generally the plate of food is really colorful, right? So if you have a plate of salmon, maybe there's a few beautiful beets on there with that kind of magenta purple tone and some asparagus. So I think if you can get at least 3 or 4 colors on the plate of food, I think the more the better. It's more likely you're going to get a better photograph. If you have a steak on there with a potato and a piece of bread, I mean, yes, you could get a good photograph of that, but it's just not going to be as eye-catching.
Are you looking for new ideas? Then you're invited to a once-a-year big show. Gordon Food Show. Taste hundreds of new products. Learn cutting-edge culinary trends. Attend expert-led presentations. Connect with industry specialists. Special show-only discounts. Gain valuable insights. It's free to attend. The possibilities are limitless. Start here, go everywhere. Gordon Food Service.
And then my third big tip is editing. So you usually want to warm up the image a little bit. If it looks cool, then the food can kind of look kind of sad. So on most phones, there's a warming setting. Just warm it up a little bit. You always want to add a little bit of contrast. You always want to make it a little bit brighter. And you can always increase the saturation a little bit. You don't want to do it so much that it ends up looking like an Andy Warhol piece of art, right? Because that won't look authentic. It's just making a little adjustments to make it look more appealing. And then my last big tip in terms of editing is opening up those shadows a little bit. Because if there's a lot of dark shadows around the food, it just doesn't look as appetizing. So I always say open up those shadows quite a bit, and that will make the food look more appetizing. Those are my big tips on how to take better food photos at senior living communities with your phone.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Trestle Tactics. Be sure to like and subscribe on any of our channels, YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you listen to us. Also, be sure to follow us on any of your social media channels at Tips from Trestle. Well, thanks for joining us on this episode of Trestle Tactics.